When we talk about empower young Anglicans, gather, go and grow, it's a moment for us to rekindle our fire. It's a moment for us to strengthen our faith. It's a moment for us to be empowered to gather, go and grow. And this is biblical.
As part of annual activities slated for Bishop Kojo Aruna Nelson's celebration, which is in remembrance of the founder of the association, the Anglican Diocesan Council of the Anglican Young People's Association, by way of edification and work from its 4 pillars, has held a memorial lecture in honor of their founder. The lecture was on the theme 3Gs, empowering young Anglicans to gather, go, and grow. Speaker for the lecture, Professor Kofi Boni, noted 5 key things we need to emphasize.
The first point I want to raise with you is that we shouldn't let perfectionism eclipse ourselves. In other words, we don't want to say that I want to be so perfect before I can do this. The second one, we should remind our leaders. We should remind our leaders of their role, the role they need to play. We have to give ourselves the appropriate responsibilities. The fourth one is, let us make sure that we know why we are serving. And the final one is, understand all the elements of what you are doing.
Again, the chairman of the Youth and Children's Board shared his sentiment.
It's not only sitting and listening to these lectures, but seeing the lecture manifest in the lives of the youth. That's where the Anglican Church is lacking. It's not, as for lectures, I have to say to you that a lot of motivation have been coming from Osofos and things, but we don't need to leave the message there. What is lacking, the gap is the follow-ups. Today, from what I asked, the digital and the physical, that blend of hybrid, that is where we'll be making it. And it's an intentional, just as you heard all the speakers say. But how intentional are our church leaders? That's where it matters. We need to start putting in new factors. The old thing that we say, oh, the youth, the complaint is too much. What we need to do is practically, church leaders need to take up the mantle and run the youth, let the youth work. And how do you let the youth work? You have to be there with them. You have to give them, motivational things. There are things that the youth will like. You say, oh, as for this, it belongs to you. The church cannot. How can you modify and repackage it to suit the youth and meet the church halfway? That is what I believe we should be doing.
Lawyer Randolph Obodai, member of St. Paul's Anglican Church in La, who happens to be part of the panelist discussions, shared his sentiments.
I think that the church needs to do a retrospect of itself, all right? There is this popular cliche that the youth are the future leaders, but I dare say that the future is the youth, all right? Now, when you look around, we have most of the people who are in the helms of affairs being the youth. And so the church must take a critical look at having a program that will seek to retain them. And for the Aruna Nelson Memorial Lectures, today it was super, despite the fact that we had low numbers turning up. Maybe we could be very intentional in advertising it better, if we can even do some road shows and then maybe give targets to people from the various dignitaries to come. I think that will help us, because indeed we need to empower ourselves if we are minded to be the leaders of the church.
Speaking on the sideline of the memorial lecture, Lay Canon Dr. Taki spoke to the news team.
The speaker, the prof, urged us to do self-introspection before we accept leadership role. And I agree with him, because if you look at current leadership and membership, it seems that we're lacking commitment. And it's something that I will urge ADC leadership and the various presidents to look at. It was quite appalling at 6:30, even running through the program, our numbers. This is not a crowd house, because if we are the youth of the church, And we have over 40 branches within Accra Diocese alone. And the total number was 106. I believe that we need to do something about that. And I agree with Prof that we need to examine ourselves, okay? And we should do more for Christ and His church. A little sacrifice will not be bad. You know, yes, I mean, there's a saying that yes, this generation is quite different. But in our days, we had no phones, we have no WhatsApp applications, but we attended programs. I don't know what the issues are. Yes, I know there are a lot of economic challenges, but then if we are committed to what we said we want to do, we'll find time. We tend to give out so much excuses, and I believe that we should work at that.
About 70 years ago, the late Bishop Aruna Kojo Nelson had a vision to put together all youth of the Anglican fraternity, which is now the Anglican Young People's Association. For Adwa News, Nanya Makolisen, Adabraka, Accra.